Edit. Thanks for the gold. I appreciate all the great feedback and tips. I know it has to be his choice, but I want to support him in the best way possible. I love him and want him to be happy and healthy for many years to come. Story 1. Ask to go on walks together after dinner. A 20 to 30-minute walk every day does wonders for your system, at least compared to a completely sedentary lifestyle. I think that's probably your best bet. It's going to be difficult to get someone who hates the gym, has never gone to the gym in the past, and never wants to go to the gym to actually go to the gym, understandably so, hopefully. Story 2. You can draw a line in the sand without shaming him. Also, weight control is 90% diet. He will have to learn how to eat the food he likes in moderation. But there's no way to do this while sparing his feelings. Tell him how unacceptable the state of his health is. Then compliment him when he does something that will nudge him closer to a solution. Don't nag him to do things. He will rebel. Story 3. Exercise benefits both the heart and brain, while portion control is key for weight management. This is an oversimplification but addresses a common misconception. One could become a gym enthusiast, but without managing their diet, weight loss may not occur. Many people maintain a healthy body by consuming 2,000 calories a day and going to the gym 1 to 3 times a week. During each workout, they might burn only 400 to 600 calories at best. So, in a week, they consume 14,000 calories and usually burn up to 1,800 calories at the gym. Where do the other 12,200 calories go? The majority are burned by simply living, using our brains, moving around, and similar activities. Besides, cardio is slightly better for weight loss than weightlifting. I am not an expert, just a fit individual who finds exercise science interesting. Aside from managing his diet, I suggest he start walking. He should walk as much as he feels like initially, but he needs to develop a routine or habit. Eventually, he might start enjoying it and walk further. Once the muscles around his joints, which are probably weak, strengthen, he can try running. An alternative is cycling because it is low impact, and the intensity can be easily scaled up or down. What has worked well for me when the gym or running becomes boring is sports. I love playing pickup sports in adult leagues. Every league I have joined has a day for beginners, those out of shape, or older people. It is just for fun, with no intensity, expectations, or risk of injury. Playing sports makes me forget that I am working hard because I am so focused on the game. Story 4. We are heading into summer, at least in the northern hemisphere. Maybe just go for walks outside in the evenings or weekends. Any exercise is better than none, and going to the gym, a mecca of vanity, comes with a lot of baggage beyond facilitating a workout. The easiest way to lose weight is to eat better. When I started trying to lose weight, I was shocked at how many extra calories were in store-bought baked goods compared to homemade ones that taste the same, with muffins and rolls being two of the biggest shockers. Maybe try to get him to cook some of his favorite dishes with you. I found that it is easiest to lose weight and stick to a diet when it doesn't feel like I'm dieting or doing extra work. So a bunch of small changes over the course of a year, like evening walks with you and cooking with you, will help him drop the weight without making him feel like he is unattractive to you. Story 5. It has to be something he likes. I have always struggled with my weight, but I do also enjoy physical activity. Does he enjoy any sports? Even something like hiking? Story 6. Tell him you love him and want him to stay around for a long time. The weight is not healthy. One acquaintance I know who was obese lost the weight when his wife told him she planned on a huge insurance policy on him since he is likely going to die young. He lost 40 pounds and kept it off. Story 7. The biggest thing is his diet. I was about 20 pounds overweight and lost 25 pounds in 2 months by choosing not to drink my calories and through weekly 48-hour fasts combined with 1 meal a day on eating days. At the end of the day, he could sweat for an hour, burn 400 calories, and it wouldn't mean anything if he drinks a soda once he gets home. You have to change your consumption habits. Story 8. I get offended by the anti-gym culture out there, by people that have never been to the gym. It's like the boogeyman. You hear one story about it online, and then everyone thinks it's so common. I've been going to the gym for over 10 years and have literally never heard anyone make fun of someone else for being overweight or out of shape. Yes, I'm sure in the history of gyms it has happened before, but I can't imagine it happening, especially outside of school. If you don't want to go to the gym, fine. but people shouldn't use "someone will make fun of me" as an excuse. Story 9. I hate all of those things as well, and I go to the gym 5 times a week. Maybe he will like powerlifting or strongman stuff. Maybe he will like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or Muay Thai. Story 10. It sounds like he has no intention of actually losing weight. Hating gym culture is cognitive dissonance. When you go to a regular gym, hardly anyone interacts with you as they are busy doing their own routines. Are you losing attraction to him? Is it affecting your marriage? So you should just tell him that. He will hurt his feelings, but he needs to know what is at stake. Besides eating better, he can work out at home with videos. Fitness Blender on YouTube has a ton of free workouts that don't require any equipment. If he has no interest in that, you can definitively prove he is unwilling to exercise, and it has nothing to do with gym culture. Story 11. Insecure people tend to be overly prejudiced. At least that's what it was like with me due to my dad's influence. He's very much like your husband. No exercising and overweight, loathes sports and those who exercise. He went as far as saying in front of me as a kid that adults who did sports were somehow mentally ill. So some of that nonsense I had to get rid of as time went by. I started by doing stuff I liked and ended up as I am now, hitting the gym 2 to 4 times a week, which isn't much by any stretch of the imagination, but it helps me a lot, both to stay in shape and mentally to stay focused and so on. I think you should find anything outdoors related that he may like. For instance, hiking or even going for a walk around town with the excuse of getting fresh air, a nice time together, or enjoying the scenery. Nothing too physical, right? If he could enjoy those, then maybe you could suggest going for longer walks, shopping for proper equipment, and seeing if he looks interested in other activities there. Also, if he can pick up some sort of healthy habit, even something as trivial as strolling several times a week, he'll probably start eating more healthily by himself, or at least you'll be able to get him to eat healthier. I hope it works out well for you. Oh, and by the way, real gym culture is nothing like the stereotypical notions floating around. Story 12. He doesn't need to subscribe to gym culture to get in better shape. Sounds like an excuse, if anything. He doesn't even have to go to the gym. There are plenty of at-home methods. Story 13. He just needs to adjust his diet. If he's too unwilling to go to the gym, at least make him clean up his diet and eat less food to get less fat. If he doesn't mind working out but doesn't want to go to a gym, provide him with a bodyweight fitness program. The website Our Bodyweight Fitness will be a good spot for that. Story 14. Tell him to join something like jiu-jitsu or boxing. Gyms are boring for most people, and they will lose interest after a month or two. For me, I lost 105 pounds by walking my local state park's rim trails and hills with my dog, doing a little gym, and then eventually getting insanely addicted to jiu-jitsu, which brought an amazing community of friends and family around me. Also, you can always do it with him too. Jiu-jitsu is insanely positive for your emotions. It's like learning killer self-defense through this meditative, fun, and tiring exercise with the benefits of doing it with laid-back, amazing people and coaches. The jiu-jitsu community is open to everyone, and I feel like people on the outside are wrongly intimidated by the homosocial intimacy and the cliché thinking that martial arts people are mean and looking to kill you. Really open him up to anything new. I love jiu-jitsu because even though I completely struggled in the beginning, just small improvements in warm-up exercises and my defense while live rolling were enough for me to mark improvements and stay with it. Going to the gym to lift weights doesn't have any of that outside of gains. Story 15. Everyone covered the diet part, so here are some alternative activities. Biking, parkour, martial arts, rock climbing, and obstacle course racing. It might be a hard sell if he never liked being active, though. Try picking something that interests you and ask him to join and support you. He might get on board easier if it sounds more like he's helping you. Story 16. My wife started making comments about a second husband, as in the husband she was going to marry after I passed away. She started telling my son things like, "Second daddy has a pool." She lost a bunch of weight herself and made comments about how it would make finding a second husband easier. Down 35 pounds so far, 35 to go. Story 17. If a man can't regulate himself but also complains when his significant other tries to regulate him, he has a lot of growing he needs to do. Get him into a sport and tell him it is for his benefit as much as it is for yours. Watching someone descend into unfit obesity and unhealthy living is very painful, especially when they are a close loved one. Story 18. As someone who has gone to Orange Theory for over a year and just started CrossFit, the gym can still be scary, especially as an overweight person. If he doesn't want to go, he won't. As other posters mentioned, weight loss happens in the kitchen. If his health is genuinely a concern, it is worth a candid conversation. Do you have kids or want them, or grandkids? Even without, investments in health now only pay back as we age. If you want to grow old with him, it's got to start now. He has to find an exercise he loves, aside from diet. Maybe it's hiking, riding a bike, or joining a softball league. A seriously former overweight friend of mine hated the gym but loved random pickup games of basketball at the Young Men's Christian Association. That sounds awful to me. You'd have to drag me kicking and screaming. Conversely, he'd end the friendship if I dragged him to an Orange Theory class. Story 19. Diet and walking. And what I mean by diet is simply cutting down on the amount you eat and doing a quick walk every day, starting off easy and working up to an hour. Lost 40 pounds in 5 months doing this, from 250 to 210. Story 20. The first time I lost a lot of weight, I worked out a ton and ate a little healthier. Then I hurt my hip, could barely walk at all without feeling pain, and gained almost all the weight back. The second time I lost weight, I focused much more on diet and less on exercise, and it's proving to be much easier to sustain. Story 21. Start simple. Go walking around a park or lake. Go down to Laguna and walk along Cliff Drive and the boardwalk or Huntington. A nice walk doesn't feel like exercise, but do it a couple of times a week and he will see results and feel better. Story 22. Not sure if it is about Scary Jim, but more about how he lacks internal motivation. Really, most of the time we already know about all the benefits, but that alone doesn't seem to be enough. Sport is not fun for many people, so no matter the benefits, replacing something in their life with something less fun is not a good deal. If you want him to get in shape a bit, find something he will enjoy that also includes being active, not the other way around. Story 23. Point him towards martial arts. Style does not really matter as long as the location is of quality. Fencing, taekwondo, karate, kickboxing, boxing, mixed martial arts, kendo, aikido, etc. Story 24. You can't outrun or lift a bad diet. He should address his eating habits first. It's also very hard to get someone to start lifting unless they try it on their own from my experience. How about indoor rock climbing? Story 25. He might not ever want to change. Try some of these suggestions, but you may eventually have to decide whether you are willing to live with his choices or if you would be happier moving on. Story 26. If he likes trap shooting, you could suggest other shooting activities. 3-gun competitions involve more running and movement. If he ends up caring enough about it, he might want to get in better shape to improve his times and scores. Story 27. Instead of starting a workout, have him just start stretching. It will feel good, and it will not feel good when he stops. Once he gets into the habit of stretching, that is when you introduce some exercise and some cardiovascular activity. Also, eat less. Story 28. Swimming, rock climbing, and dancing are good workouts. Going for a walk in the park. There are tons of active things you can do instead of going to the gym. Story 29. Do you think he's afraid of his lack of knowledge in the area of fitness? That he won't fit in? Or does it have to do with how each gym feels? A Planet Fitness has a much different feel than a CrossFit gym or a Gold's Gym. I agree with many people here who are saying you can help ease him into it. Asking him to go on walks with you would be a great introduction to building healthy habits. You can help introduce the habit to him in a couple of different ways. 1. Maybe on a particularly nice day, you can mention it's really nice out and you'd like his company on a walk around the neighborhood. A few days after that, you can mention how much you enjoyed his company on that walk and want to do it again. From there, just keep it up for a month or two until a habit has been formed. Once it starts getting chilly out, you can mention that you can keep up your walking schedule by taking it inside and doing it on treadmills. Incremental change is key to building habits without getting in over your head. And this is no different. Best of luck to you and your husband. Story 30. Shame him. It's really popular to be sensitive about how everyone feels, much to the detriment of the ones we love. Tell him he's a big, soft, fat sack of rubbish, and you believe in him and believe that he can be better than he is. Honesty is the key to a good relationship. Then push him to be better. Tell him you want him to be the man he deserves to be. Story 31. I also hate the gym, but I like to stay fit. I do it through my activities. Find something that he would enjoy that takes some amount of physical effort. Hiking, hunting, river fishing, fossil hunting, landscaping, cycling, paddleboarding, the list goes on. Make trying it a breeze for him at first so his only effort is participating. Figure out all the logistics for the first few times. Hopefully, he gets hooked and wants to do it more. If he has any level of competitive nature, he might even go all in. I like this method because you also get to spend time with him doing these things and helping to encourage him. It's fun to help someone realize their best self. However you get him to improve his weight and health, I wish the best to you both.